Canadian Music Week on 105.9 The Region.
What's going on? You're listening to 105.9 The Region, 12:15 on this Tuesday afternoon. I got Shawn Desman dancing.
I'm feeling this music right now. Feeling this music. Okay.
We're trying to get the vibes going.
Yes. I love it. It's all about vibes.
For Canadian Music Week. We're so excited. You're going to be performing tomorrow night.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about that a little bit later.
All
You're
right.
going to be here for the whole hour.
Yes.
But I just... This is like my elementary school dream come true. I just needed to say that. I needed to get that out there. Let me just say, Get Ready and Shook were my jams in grade 5.
Love it.
So I just want to say thank you
thank you
to everything that you've brought to the Canadian music scene. Like, honestly, it wouldn't be what it is without you and everything that you've contributed.
Don't make me cry.
I know.
I've done enough crying.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get
No, but I am so thankful, so grateful, because when I was that 20-year-old doing that, I didn't think that I was doing that. I was just performing and making music, and people liked it, and I was just like living my best life, but only now I'm starting to realize, because people are telling me, and I'm talking hundreds of people, thank you for doing what you did and making the music you did, and then also thank you for coming back and making music. And I'm just like, holy mac, how do you guys expect me not to cry? I'm so emotional about it all, because it is all I've ever done, and I'm so passionate about it, and I'm just so happy to be here, and I'm gonna ride this wave.
As you should. You know what? Your passion really shows in your music, in just our conversation right now.
Right.
You can see how passionate you are. And I don't want to get too much into the emotional stuff, but you've had a difficult last few years. You've been through a lot, and your comeback has been insane. And I want you to take me back to History Toronto last year.
Yes.
How did that feel, being back on stage?
Honestly, I thought I was, first of all, Drake calls me and he's like, yo, I'm putting on this show, OVO, Canadian North Stars. I want you to do it. I'm like, yeah, of course. Sign me up. I'm in. But in my head, I'm just like, this is just another show. And I haven't been making music for 7 years. So I'm just going to do this show. And then I'm going to go back to just living my life the way I've been living my life. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. That's what I'm going to do. And that's not what happened. So, I get there. I see Drake and I go up to him just like, yo, man, thank you for inviting me. And he's like, Shawn Desman, thank me. He's like, thank you, bro, for everything you've done. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Yeah. Thanks, Drake. Really cool dude. And then I go on stage. They announce Shawn Desman and Get Ready comes on. And the place, the energy was high, but it took it 100 times. And I started to realize, I'm like, wow, I think this is going to be crazy. So song after song, crowd goes crazy. I finish with Electric, and it's like, wow, the place. And I think in my head, I'm like, maybe people still do care about Shawn Desman. And so I do the show, crowd goes nuts. I come off, and Drake sees me, pulls me aside. He's like, yo, come here, man. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, yo, Shawn Desman, you're different, bro? And I'm like, different? Explain. I don't know what that means, Drake. I'm old. And he's like,
what are you saying?
He's like, dude, you're different, eh? You went up there. Did you hear those people? They love you. Those songs, even the older stuff, they're timeless. People, he's like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, Drake, honestly, I lost my passion for the music business. I hated the music business. And he's like, he stopped me. He's like, yeah, I get all that. He's like, yo, you can't stress about that. He's like, yo, I'm telling you right now, Shawn Desman, these people need you. You need to make music again.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, Drake.
You do what Drake says.
Yeah. And the next day, I'm telling you, my phone from text, emails, Instagram, blowing up. Heads of Spotify, heads of Apple Music. Yo, we were at the show. You blew everybody away. What are you doing? Shawn, is there music coming? And on my brain, I'm like, no, because I wasn't planning for this to happen. And then I get a phone call from Jamie Appleby, who's one of the founders of Wax Records, who I'm signed to now. And he's like, yo, Shawn, what are you doing about this? I said, Jamie, I'm not doing anything. He's like, no. He's like, if you were ever going to make a comeback, it's now, because you have this short window. People care about you. Let's try and make something happen. So I'm like, cool, let's try. Whatever, right? I have nothing to lose. We go into the studio, start making music. Nothing's really clicking. And then one day, I send him Maniac, which, by the way, I wrote in 2014.
Wow.
Okay. So just before my record label dropped me, so it never saw the light of day. So I send that to him, and literally right away he calls me. Yo, what is that? I'm like, Jamie, it's just a song that I had that I really think is really great. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, let's work on that. obviously it was done like 7 years ago. Let's update it. Let's change some lyrics. And then it turned into what it was today. And like Shawn Desman is back on the radio. Shawn Desman had a top 10 song at top 40 after like people just kind of like disregarding. I try not to cry about this, but it's really emotional for me because the business I loved so much really chewed me up and spit me out, which really sucks. But I'm back. I'm in a different mindset, and I'm gonna keep riding this wave. I can't wait for people to hear what I'm working on next, because it's really great. And we were talking about it off air. We're not going to go into it, but like the initiative that's going to come along with Love Me With the Lights On, which is the new single.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
Is so great. So I'm just really pumped. Really pumped.
We are so excited for that. And I, for one, and I think I speak for my entire generation when I say how excited we are to have you back, because like I said, you're part of our childhood. You're part of how we grew up. I can't think about elementary school without thinking about Get Ready and Shook. So I am so happy to be in your presence. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. And we're going to talk about your Canadian Music Week performance coming up. But first, I got to throw it back to one of my all-time favorites. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and introduce it?
All right. So I was told, what's up, everybody? I'm Shawn Desman, and this is, I guess I'm used to saying my brand new single. This ain't brand new. This is OG Shawn Desman. This is Shook right here on 105.9 The Region.
80s, 90s, and now you're listening to 105.9 The Region. We're celebrating Canadian Music Week. I'm Shaliza Bacchus, joined again by Shawn Desman.
Yo, this music though, I gotta just take a second.
Vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
I love my music beds. I feel you're not the first person to say that.
Really?
So everyone loves it. Even Rob. When
yeah,
Rob's
it's
in
like
here,
chill lounge. Like I'm on the beach, maybe. Right? Like by the pool.
That's what we're trying to.
I love
that's
it.
what we
Summertime.
need right now.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Anyway, we're not going to get too emotional now.
Yes. No. That's done.
We've been through it.
Yeah.
But you're performing tomorrow night for Canadian Music Week.
Yes.
And as I've said, Canadian music would not be Canadian music without Shawn Desman.
Thank you.
So what can
I hope I'm going to be able to walk out of this room because my head is just exploding. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a little bit. It's looking a little big.
Yeah, looking a little big there.
That's okay. But what can people expect from the performance tomorrow?
Oh man, it's going to be great. I mean, it's not just myself, Virginia to Vegas, Alyssa Reed, Noel. I'm really excited. I mean, it's like nonstop hit after hit after hit after hit. It's going to be, the energy is going to be amazing. I think this is like maybe my first time performing at a Canadian Music Week event ever.
Wow.
Maybe not. I'm not sure, because 20 years for me. So I've done a lot of shows. But yeah, no, it's going to be great, man. I can't wait to see everybody. I'm just excited. It's like, I'm just excited to be back on stage because I love it on stage. I love interacting with people, hearing them sing back the songs. Like, what better feeling is there? There isn't one, for me at least, right?
I could imagine. And I'm so excited for you.
Thank
I'm just
you.
so excited for you to get back on stage and do what you are so passionate about. And I said this earlier, like, you can tell how passionate you are, and it really comes through in everything that you do and
I love
you
it.
say.
Thank you.
And before I let you go, I want to know if you have any advice for any up-and-coming Canadian artists.
Oh, man. Yeah, I feel like I get that question a lot. And what I always say is, like, today in 2023, there are so many tools for people to hear your music. Like, when I was coming up and trying to get a record deal, let's say like back in 2000, which is when I kind of really started to get a major record label deal, I was sending in cassette tapes, okay? Not even CDs yet. I was sending cassette tapes to record labels for them to listen to me. Now, with YouTube, TikTok, oh my God, TikTok, Instagram, not even just that. You could put out music independently now and be heard all across the world. Yep. That was not the case when I was coming up. When I was coming up, like, you had to go to a store to buy a CD of the artist that you liked. Where now, I release a song, somebody in Germany can listen to it. Like, streaming has like changed the entire landscape of like creating and garnering fans for artists, because anybody in any country can listen to you now, which is totally, like, it's amazing. So, like, stay humble, really work hard, really know what you're trying to do in terms of like your vision, because that's so important, right? Like, don't stray from that. And like, if you really believe in what you're doing, then you got to go for it, right? Because there's obviously always the naysayers. No, it's not. No, you should. Oh, that's so hard. You sure you want to do it? Like, Yeah, like absolutely. So if you really are passionate about it and you love it, you go for it.
I love that. That's great advice. And what does Canadian music mean to you?
What does Canadian music mean to me? Wow. I mean, some of my favorite artists now are Canadian. I mean, obviously I got to shout out Drake. He did really change my life last summer. And like, he's like the biggest streaming artist in the world ever. Like, and you know, the way he goes from like flips from singing to like rapping is like so great. And that's kind of what differentiates him from everybody else. You know what I mean? Nelly Furtado. Oh my God. My girl, my Portuguese sister, like incredible. Julie Black, like one of my good friends. She's amazing. Shawn Mendes, like who people often, yo, do you know how many times I'm somewhere and they're like, yo, Shawn Mendes. I'm like,
you know,
just switch the men and the Des, bro.
But you know,
it's Desmond.
Now that you say that, though, I do kind of see a little bit of a resemblance.
Really?
A little bit.
Yeah, I think he's half Portuguese as well.
I think so.
Avril Lavigne. I mean, so many. Celine Dion, Bryan Adams. So many great Canadian artists, man. And I'm just so what I'm happy about that's happening now is that the rest of the world is starting to look at Canada as a talent hub. Yes. You know what I mean? And like coming here, like who's the next thing coming out of Canada? The Weeknd, forgot to mention him. So that's really good for this country, man, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
And we're proud to have you
being
a part of it. So
Thank you.
Sean, I almost called you Shawn Mendes.
You were just going to call me Shawn Mendes. You know what? This interview is over. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. He's walking out the door. Shawn Desman performing tomorrow night as part of the Canadian Music Week showcase. And you're going to be back in the region next week. You're
Literally
performing
in a week
for the city of Vaughan on Wednesday. And you're coming back. We're not letting you go.
Yeah,
you're coming back on Saturday to 100%. Join Rob on the Road.
Yes.
Talk all about that. And
Rob.
We love Rob. Yeah, sure we do. Anyway, Shawn
no
Desman.
shade, eh? Oh my God.
All right, we got to close it out. We got to close it out with, of course, Maniac.
Maniac?
Of
I love
course.
it. Oh my God. Guys, thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun. And yeah, we're going to leave you with Maniac right here. Shawn Desman, 105.9, The Region.